Well, welcome to another mail call video. 2 days after the last mail call video I made. This is number 59. I was going to call it number 58 part due, you know, spelled with a funny way, French way, but I decided not to, so just do it like I normally. We got our first shipment in from Squadron, which is going to be TACOM kits. So expect a lot of nice TACOM kits here. We got something from Stevens International. It's probably Trumpeter, I would imagine. And then we also got something from MRC, and I think we got one from Hasegawa. These actually were in my trunk. I actually went to put something away Monday in my trunk, and I was like, oh God, I forgot 2 boxes. So these were actually here, but then the other 2 showed up. So yeah, we'll go ahead and open them all up. You can see Monday's items are still here. They are up on the spreadsheet. If you guys are interested in samples, they're actually there, and you can check through them. Or you can watch the mail call video from 2 whole days ago. Yeah. All right, so what did we get from MRC? And we will start with the smallest box. We got the DaVinci series. They've changed their branding a bit, but the DaVinci series, is that number 12 or just 12? No, it's age range 12. Actually 14. What's the 12 that's saying there? 12. 12? DaVinci? Oh, I think it is the 12th release. So I was right about that. My gut feeling. They've been doing a bunch of these different kits. They're all kind of DaVinci drawings, I believe, that have been turned into models, and they're functional. I think they're usually, I'm not sure yeah, it says no glue, no paint. So they're you know, for kids or people just interested in that type of stuff. We will make that available on the Model Geek page. And then we have this, well, actually, technically this box would be the next if we're doing it by size. We shall do smallest to largest. Try not to cut myself with this box opener. So how have you guys been in the last day and a half or so? Good, I hope. Yeah. Nothing like 2 mail call videos within 1 week. I thought about waiting till Monday to do them, but then it's good that when we get a bunch of stuff in like we did with the Dragon, that we kind of, if we're going to put a bunch of stuff up, let's put a bunch of stuff up and get it all, you know, quickly handled, hopefully. So we've got, wow, this is an interesting looking thing. The Gorilla 30, the Gorilla. This is the 30.5 centimeter artillery piece. I'm going to say this probably is a paper Panzer, but this isn't even in World of Tanks. So we can't credit World of Tanks with this release, as I like to joke about. Trying to pull my make sure I'm not pulling my microphone out there. Make sure there's nothing else in this. There is not. I'm getting quite a bit. I'm gonna have to do box cleanup soon. So this is an interesting kit. I guess this is like Tiger II chassis, or is that one of the larger? It looks even larger than the Tiger II chassis. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 road wheels? Is that normal? Don't know. Don't care. Somebody knows out there though. But it's a very interesting profile. Very interesting. Obviously, the fact that you could lower the gun down. I can imagine using that in an anti-tank scenario. I wouldn't want to be the tank on the receiving end of that shot. That would be rather deadly. All right, and what did we get in? This is a really long, this looks like it would be a ship or something. No, it's not a ship. It's well, it's kind of a ship. Well, not really. More of a ground fighter. This is the Maschinen Krieger series. A lot of interesting kits that that Hasegawa has put out over the years. This is another one. This is kind of a tank, I'm guessing. Although it kind of looks like it's a low caliber weapon, but with some kind of weird antenna looking thing. So this is the Strahl Demokratische Republik, a PKH 103 Nutcracker. So yeah, that's one for the for Model Geek as well. A couple of ones for Model Geek. All right, that just leaves me with this large box from Squadron. I'd like to thank Squadron and TACOM for renewing samples with us. Wow, a lot of stuff. All right. The first one is the M47G Patton. This is 1/35 scale, obviously, US medium tank. It's got a couple of different camo schemes: South Korean Army, West German Army, 1960s and 1980s. That's the first one. And then we have the M47EM. This is a 2-in-1 kit. The other one was a 2-in-1 also, I didn't note. 1/35 scale. And this one features some 37th Brigade 237 Armored Battalion border with Iraq Army during defense of pipelines 1980. And then a M47L E1 initial version, Armored Light Cav Regiment RC-LAC Lusitania? Interesting. Interesting. I like the trailer deployment that's coming off of there. And then we have the FV432 Mark 2/1 with interior. Interesting vehicle. Looks a little like an M113, but obviously not. Some kind of British AFV. And, or was that based on an M113 platform? Can't tell. Kind of looks like it. And they're showing a Berlin 1980 and a Royal Scout 7th Armored Brigade. These are, by the way, were they all MiG? Yeah, these are all MiG color camo patterns and stuff, so the paints will probably be available through MiG. And what else do we have? The AML 90, cute little 1/35 scale, French light tank destroyer kind of thing, light armored car. Actually, we'll see if we can get away with putting that up there. Might have to strengthen my my thing. You know, I had a tragic tragedy. That's a stupid thing to say. I had a serious tragedy, modeler-wise. You see these books? Well, behind these books was my air compressor. And moving these boxes around, I believe it was late Monday, I must have pushed on the books a little bit, which must have meant that the air compressor was precariously balanced on the back, or right at the edge of the back, and it fell over. Yeah, my I think it's back there on the floor, but it looks like the inlet for the water collector thing, you know, the thing that collects the water, basically the thread, it was completely bent over, and I think the threading is hopefully the threading is damaged on the male piece that goes into the air compressor body, because if the threads are damaged in there, I can't easily replace that. I'd have to try to rethread it or something, which would be interesting. Yeah, so my nice Iwata given air compressor that barely has been used, maybe already DOA, but hopefully not. Well, that is a nice looking kit. But in the meantime, we've got the AML 60. This is also obviously a light British or French. Looks like it's based on a British version or British vehicle, but it says French light armored car. Why is that? Does anybody know? Is that totally French design? Actually, the side profile looks French, but it was reminding me of a British armored car initially. What else do we have? We have tracks. We have T55 tracks, OMSH for Russian medium tanks. That's a 1/35 scale. And we have T55 tracks in RMSH, Russian medium tank, 1/35 scale. So that's interesting. And then we've got this thing. Goodness. The Kraz 260V tractor with CHM ZAP 5247 semi-trailer and T55 AMV. Wow, that is and this is a limited edition, obviously, white box. Whoa, look at all the TACOM releases on the side box there. That's quite impressive to have all those on there. And hopefully this didn't get too badly dinged up. It looks like the box did get a little dented, but oh, all the plastic. This includes all the plastic, yes, nice. All right, well, certainly make a hell of a diorama with that, with the truck and the tank and other potential additions. But yeah, that's a nice one. Thanks for sending that one, guys. I'm sure somebody's out there salivating for it at this very moment. I'll probably do a video unbox of that simply because it's so unique and rare, but I will definitely try to get that off to somebody who's going to do a full build. We don't need an inbox video, we need a full build. I noticed that a lot of our full build requests on our spreadsheet are the ones that seem to get bogged down and, you know, not taken and so forth, which I gotta admit, I'm a little perplexed. It's like, we've got a lot of kits available and we just want somebody to build them and then, you know, write up something and take some photos, and it's not that hard. Maybe we've made it sound like it's too hard in prior talking about this stuff. It's not that hard. I mean, you can obviously blog about it as well. That's what I usually recommend to people who want to try to take one of these projects on. Blog it. That way you're taking photos of it at the time you're doing everything. You don't have to go back. So many times we've had people take a kit, build it, and then like, oh, I forgot to take photos of, you know, this process and doing the steps. So pretty much I've just got the photos of it complete, and, you know, they could write about it, but it didn't have all those, you know, the kind of magazine kind of photos, you know, where this stage and so forth. So when you blog, obviously you're kind of doing those photos as you're going along. So it's a lot easier to create a finished feature article with your blog resources, your photos, what you've said about it and so forth. You can kind of just go through and, you know, piece together what you've already said in your blog and maybe put it together as a feature. So that's usually the way I recommend for that type of thing. If you're doing a build review, you can still do it the same way. But obviously for a build review, it's a little more about building it and you know, summing up all the things you did while or all the criticisms and pros and cons and so forth, rather than just, hey, this is how I built the model. Which is, I'm surprised we don't get more build features, to be honest. Ironically, we used to have a lot more people interested in doing build features or build articles for the site than we were reviews. Now it seems like we've flipped around and everybody wants to do build reviews or inbox reviews, but build reviews. And it just seems like it's just easier to do like magazines. You mean, how many build reviews you see in a magazine? Occasionally you see some, but they're mostly articles about how I built this model and how I built this, you know, my project. So, that said, well, again, thanks for all these samples. We'll stack them all up so we can get everything in here in one shot. No, that's not gonna make it. This should work though. All right, there we go. Now, I forgot this one. So we'll call this, instead of calling it mail call, I'll call it Jim Builds Wall, episode 1. No. All right, thanks for watching. I hope you can stand 2 mail calls within a 2-day period. You know, hopefully they're not that boring. Clearly, a lot of these kits just came out, so they may be available. I think there should be in shops. Obviously, they're sent to us from Squadron in the U.S., so clearly the container truck has arrived, or the containers have arrived from overseas, and they are being shuffled off to hobby stores and so forth now. I'm curious how many of these, being it's a limited edition, are available, so that that would be interesting. And the potential cost of that kit probably is up there too. But we'll cover all that when we do the unboxing. And if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please put them below in our comments section. If you like this video, make sure to click the like button. If you are on YouTube, you want to subscribe, you can subscribe. And if you're interested in doing a sample, please check the link that it's down in the description. It should take you to the relevant, or show you where the relevant areas are to look for samples for the different sites, for Armorama, for Model Geek, for Aeroscale. We have aircraft, which we don't in this issue, but we did have the helicopter up here, which I'm not sure I will, you know, I would make that available if, like, as for a blog, if somebody wanted to do a nostalgia blog, you know, how I built the H-19 rescue helicopter 30 years later, you know, probably better than you did when you were young. So anyways, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time on Mail Call.